What's a good dog pun for this opening? No, who let the dogs out? Stupid. Maybe Diamond Dogs? Like Metal Gear? Metal Gear has mechs. A sniper associated with dogs. Multiple snipers associated with dogs, thinking about it. Yeah, I'm sure I'll think of something. Hello and welcome back to another Gunpla review. Today we're taking a look at the Gym Sniper K9 from the original Build Fighters. Alright, and starting off as always with the articulation, I do just want to quickly point out I'm making this into a custom. As such, colors aren't going to be quite accurate, but we'll get into that when we get into the color correction. This has pretty much the exact same articulation as the regular Sniper 2. The visor can articulate, I guess that counts. Head is on the usual barbell joint, so it gets pretty decent range. If it's looking this way, it kind of gets the view blocked a little bit, but it still works. Shoulders are on a forward hinge as well as a ball joint. Easy, 90 degrees, slightly more if you include the ball joint out to the side. Bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow, but it does get slightly above 90 degrees. And the hands, as always, are on a ball joint. Waist is technically on a ball joint, though it's so deep set in there you don't get really much more than just a rotation. Though if you do pull it up a little bit, you can get a little bit of a crunch. Front skirts are ball jointed. I'm swapping these over for regular ones so I didn't separate them, but they are on two separate ball joints if you want to split it down the middle. Side skirts have pretty much the exact same range as the usual Sniper 2. It's on a peg and a hinge, so it can get out of the way easily. Back skirt solid. Of course it is. There's a front to back rock in the hips, so there's not very much clearance in there to actually use it. Universal joints for the hips themselves, which pretty good kick, though considering it's supposed to be able to kneel, it should be able to do that. But yeah, no real limitation aside from these holsters now blocking the outward movement a little bit. Get pretty much 45 degrees, though if you do turn it you can get slightly more. And there is a thigh cut, as you just saw. There's a double jointed knee for way more than 90. And the ankles are on the usual sort of front to back flip-floppy thing. Really not very much tilt to either side though. So overall the articulation is average. I mean, it can do pretty much everything you want it to at least. Alright, getting into accessories, let's start off as always with the sticker sheet and by extension color correction. Now like I said earlier, colors on this aren't accurate because I'm making it custom, but really the biggest change is I swapped the yellow out for orange, and honestly this looks so much better. I don't know why they didn't go with orange in the first place. But it's a lot of cameras. These little green ones are for up on the ears, but these are the shoulder vents, which by the way the regular Sniper 2 doesn't include these. This is the chest vent here because the new piece that allows you to attach this on is gray plastic instead of the actual color separated of the original, though it is still a separate vent, so it's very easy to paint that. This is the cockpit hatch, which is not as nice. This stripe is... I added that on my own, don't worry about that. Same thing with the gray up here on the neck. That's there on the regular Sniper 2, so I added it, but it's actually not on the build variant, so you don't need to paint that. Also, the little bar camera sensor thing on the visor isn't actually painted on the line art or in the show, but the box art does paint it. And since I wanted this to be a UC one, I painted it, though technically you don't have to, which is interesting. Aside from that, you do have to paint the black on the vents, though that's a separate piece inside of this, so it's very easy to paint. The thrusters on the feet technically need to be painted, though it's not that big a deal. And the thrusters on the back of the legs, again, need to be painted. Again, yellow instead of orange, but I mean, this looks better. Though I will say the white trim that's there on the UC version is apparently missing on the build one, though I included it because I think it looks better with that little white ring, but it's not necessary. Oh, also the sort of heat knife. This is just completely gray on the build variant. I painted it up, but you don't have to paint it at all. Aside from that, there's a very tiny amount of paint needed on one of the accessories, and that's the shield. It needs the gray. This, and these. Not a huge deal, but you know, something to keep in mind. I mean, it's a build variant, so technically you could just leave that off if you wanted to, but it is actually supposed to be painted. Also, I'd just like to quickly point out the red over here is because this technically has an exam system. However, these stickers are flat red, not even metallic, and you literally just stick them over the parts. Yeah, even the promotional images for this look bad, so I'm not going to bother. Aside from that, you do get the 2 regular weapons of the Sniper 2, and these are literally from my Sniper 2 because I didn't bother cutting them out again because I'm not using them personally. You don't have to paint the green on this one for the build variant, which is nice. You can just leave it completely gray. I'm pretty sure they actually give you stickers for these 2 cameras, though, I mean, I already painted them, so... Let's talk about the hands. 2 holding hands, which is good for the knife and the 2 beam sabers back here. Comes with the same beam effects as the regular Sniper 2, that being the old mold, which is weird. I feel like they really could have included the new ones on this, but just changed it up a little bit, but doesn't really matter. Aside from that, you do get the angled trigger finger hand for the rifles and the open splayed hand. You get the regular right trigger finger hand, but you also get a left trigger finger hand. And that's of course because of these pistols here on the holsters. You can't pull these out. Come on. And these just peg into the hands the same as the other weapons. And yes, the pegs are slightly asymmetrical, so you do have to remember to put them on the right side. A lot of people have problems with the thighs coming off, and it is definitely easier to take them off with these holsters attached, but it's honestly not as bad as I've heard. Maybe I just got lucky, but holds on pretty good to me. It only came off during the articulation because I was messing with it. Now, there is, of course, something else with this, and that is the K9 unit itself. And these joints are real loose on mine. Probably just mine, though, but yeah, the massive rifle, which they do actually give you the cameras for the front and back of this. I didn't bother putting them on because I'm never going to use this, but just pull this out, flip that away, flip this up, flip that down, and it makes a comically oversized rifle. This thing is like the size of the Jogan rifle compared to the actual suit. It is too big, honestly. You can't even, like, well, why do you do this? You literally can't have it hold it. The stock goes back so far. I don't understand why they did that, because it's just really unwieldy to deal with this. The K9 unit itself fares a little bit better. These need yellow trim, by the way. Again, I'm not using this, so I didn't bother wasting the paint, but it's a thing you need. This can sort of fold up into a thruster pack kind of thing. You know, these form the lower thrusters, these form the upper ones, and then it's sort of... It's like a space type unit, basically. And yeah, this just pegs on to the back. So you can also pull this piece off and pop this open, and this is storage or deployment, I guess, for the minifigs that this comes with, because this actually includes some little 144th soldier figures, which is awesome. I didn't bother cutting them off the runner because I'm going to lose them if I do, but they do include 8, which is 4 of this rifle one, 3 of the pistol one, and 1 of this guy just sort of standing at attention, and this is the one that the ankles broke on in packaging. Of course it did, the one exclusive one. I fixed it. Now, there is one final quick thing I want to point out in this review, and that is, this does actually come with all the parts of the regular Sniper 2. The torso with the armor just plugs into these 2 tabs. Like, this is the regular cockpit hatch. It just plugs in where the cockpit hatch attaches normally. And this is the regular vents on the chest. So if you wanted to, you could just use this as a Sniper 2 in these colors. Which, honestly, is basically what I'm doing. And that's for a quick size comparison. Pretty much average size for a Federation suit. Sniper 2's not massive, not tiny, pretty much average. So, to wrap this review up, my opinion is mixed on this. I really like the sniper part of this. The Sniper 2 is a really good base unit, and the parts that are exclusive to this are nice. The K9 unit itself is kind of meh. I don't like it that much. The tolerances on mine are really floppy, and the rifle is comically oversized. If you like it, it's fine. It's just not really my thing. But I love the dual pistols with the holsters. I love the chest armor and the heat knife, I guess. I love the colors. The green is, it's basically Zaku colors, but hey, that's nice. Basically, I can easily recommend picking this up, even with the K9 unit being kind of meh. The rest of it easily makes up for that. Anyway, that's all for this review. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, helps a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell for future reviews. Go follow me on Twitter for updates, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep making reviews just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.